Alright, so all the rain buckets on the roof are all, it's a neat house. It's too bad, needs so much work. A little cabin, little shed over there. I never noticed that. I'm sure you're gonna hit nothing. Stop when you hear the continuity. I was up in the loft, draining all the, because the roof leaks, right? This building's like, God knows, it's probably 80, 100 years old. Who knows how old it is? I was up in the very, very top loft. You guys probably can't see it there, but it's up there pretty good. And I was draining. I had to open the window to drain the buckets, right? And I opened the window, and there's a little kitty cat right there. Kind of like, as soon as I opened the window, I was like, hey, the face pops around into the window. I was like, hey, what's up? I think it was that little one that always bugs me. I didn't see her last time, and I forgot what she calls her, but anyway, she's really tame little cat. Eh? It's like, oh, there you are, right? Right up there on the top of the roof, being a supervisor. Got some scrap metal. She goes, you take scrap metal like that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So everybody's covered for today. Got one more stop, and that's a day. That is a day. That was a quick little job. She overpaid me. You know, people just appreciate when you do stuff for them. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, that's too much. Well, I'll put it towards next time. So, okay. So it's a good day. So I got 4 hours work, not quite. I don't really consider that stuff kind of work. But, yeah. Holy, whoa, wow. Potholes. I'm going to drive in the center of the road. Screw it. Smoother. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about TreeCon again. So, I'm gonna hopefully find out when I stop off back at my regular clients, and find out if she talked to the lady yet, the other client, so to speak, and find out what the status is on TreeCon. So if he's ready to go, or if he hasn't been fixed. If he hasn't been fixed yet, well, I'll just take the money. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to wait for stuff like that. Like, it has to be ready to go, right? But if it was ready to go, and I've already got 9 hours out of the 20 hours that it would take to work for it, because I could see myself doing, I've got to go back to fill, like, I emptied the topsoil out of the raised beds, okay, because it's old topsoil, and you know, it's good to dig out the old stuff and repurpose it, or you know, refresh it, and just put new topsoil in there. You don't have to do the whole thing, but you know, you take out about a foot and put in a foot, you're probably good for about 5 years before you have to put in new stuff, right? Wow, look at that pothole. That's a big one. That one won a trophy. That one's gonna eat cars. But anyway, long story short, I'll be putting that topsoil back in, the new stuff, right? And that there will probably, if that took me 9 hours to empty, it'll probably, depending on where it's dumped, if it's dumped within, you know, like, I'll probably have to still use the wheelbarrow to fill probably one side of it, because I can only throw it so far, right? My shoulder's bad anyway, so it's not like I can throw it, you know, like, I can trebuchet. I do trebuchet. That's the garden boxes right there. Probably couldn't see them, but anyway, I can trebuchet pretty good, but it makes a mess. So the idea is not to make too much of a mess. So I'm looking at probably 6-7 hours just to refill it. You know what I mean? So you can see how the chainsaw idea, 2-3 days of work, 4 days tops, could get me a chainsaw that could make me ridiculous money. you know what I mean? After just a couple of tree jobs, or even one good tree job could pay for that saw several times, right? So my goal is, if it's ready to go, I'll say, don't pay me now, too. Like I'm gonna, you know, like I'll be there. Them I usually do like every 2 or 3 weeks. I do stuff for them. You know, like it's not a very big property, and there's really not that much to do. But there's stuff that if you let it go, it takes forever to get it. You know, but if you stay on top of it, it's, you know, an hour or two every couple of weeks, which is fine for me. You know, like I don't mind that. I can squeeze it in. You know, there's always a day where I could squeeze people in for stuff, right? What I can't do is like a job that requires me to be there, you know, 3 days in a row, 4 days in a row, because I just have too many clients, right? It's kind of a bit of a catch-22. Either you have 10 clients or you have one. You know what I mean? Which, when you have one, a lot of time one client is not quite enough. You know, like usually you don't get a full time out of it, right? So you usually end up with a bunch of clients. But most people only need you for an hour or two a week. You know, I have one client 3 hours every week. Been a very consistent client, fantastic clients. This client here, she's, you know, once in a while. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, like, can you do this for me? You know, but she might call me every 3 weeks. You know, whatever. You know, so it's only when they need. You know, like, so I like having what I call a pickup day, where it's like could be the Thursday, could be the Friday, and it's like, okay, let's say Monday you're supposed to cut grass, but it rained. Well, then you could say, okay, well, don't worry, I'll get you on Friday. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know, I mean, it always comes out to, when it comes to cutting grass, there's always you're going to miss somebody at some point, right? This is why, like, the way my buddy and I do the, nobody behind me? The way we do the pricing, like, for the season is Paul's like, he says, we're going to do so much per hour. Okay. This guy's coming up on me kind of fast. Don't worry, the pellet can make it. So anyway, our season is typically 28 weeks, which 26 weeks is 6 months. So we get a little bit more than 28 weeks, but out of that 28 weeks, there might be 5 weeks that we get rained out. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know what the average would be. You know, like one summer you might get rained out half, you know, like every second week, you know what I mean? So I kind of don't like doing that big bulk seasonal thing. But what you can do is, if it works out, there's like weeks that you're missing, you can say, okay, well, we'll credit that towards next year. But I don't like doing that either. Because the problem is when you get a big bulk of money, right? Like I'm good with, you know, like rationing my money and stuff like that. But at some point, you run out of that money and you then have to find a way to make money. So when you're working off time that you've already been paid for, that can run into a problem very quickly when you got to still fulfill that obligation, but you're out of money. You know what I mean? So that's a tricky way to do it. I prefer pay me by the week. You know, like you know, pay me by whenever I'm there. You know what I mean? And then that way you're never overpaying. You can get an idea of what your budget's going to be, but you know, if a week gets missed, I just don't get paid, but I'm not on the hook for that week. You know, because you know, once you miss a week, you can't make up that week after the 28th week, right? I'm going a little faster than 6 kilometers an hour. I think that sign's starting to screw up. Numbers are going all wacky. When I hit, like, say I see like 347 on there or something like that, 357, that'd be cool. I'll be like, okay, I know this car didn't do 357 kilometers an hour, but I will tell everybody I passed that thing at 357. That would be cool. Yeah, so there's that. There's that. So I'm gonna make 2 more stops. Oh, is he there? perfect, because oh, that'll work out perfect. Then we can maybe we can get the job done tomorrow. That would be perfect. That would be awesome if that works out. That would be awesome if that works out.